beautiful people. This is Nicole with Mo Style Fam, and I'm gonna cook a little bit for you guys today. So I don't normally do this, but I am going to do stuffed peppers, but I'm not gonna use beef. I'm gonna use ground turkey. So I have my ground turkey. The seasonings I'm going to be using today will be onion powder, garlic salt, Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to use petite diced tomatoes, a little pepper, the Slap Your Mama seasoning. I think this is the hot one, so I'm going to use sparingly. I got my peppers. I'm gonna dice my onions up, and I have my 2 different cheeses. I have mozzarella, and then I have a Mexican style, which is 4 blends. That's gonna be at the last, and then I'm gonna use jasmine rice. I'm gonna use the minute rice today. Sometimes I also use, because I'm always looking for a healthier way to get away from using rice. So sometimes I use riced cauliflower. I steam it, and then I add it to the meal, to the ground turkey, and I normally stuff it in there. But today I'm going to use jasmine because I just kind of want rice today. So the first step that I normally do is I take my peppers and I wash them all off, and I'm only doing 4 today. I normally wash them off, cut the tops off, get the inside, the guts out, and then I will put them in a pot of boiling water, which I already have a pot of water here, and I will do Himalayan salt. So your water needs to be seasoned. You can use regular table salt if you choose to. I only use pink Himalayan salt. So I'll season my water, cut my tops off my peppers, get my guts out, and then I'll put them in the water and allow them to boil until the outer skin is soft. And in the meantime, while that is boiling, I'll go ahead and do my onion, cut up my onion, chop up my onion, and cook my ground turkey, and I'll be right back with you guys in just a minute. You guys, I just got all my tops cut off my peppers. And I'm going to keep these because what I'm going to do is dice the little bit of pepper that I can up and throw that into there with my onions and ground turkey as well. And I took the guts out, and all of those things are thrown in the trash. And so now my peppers are in the water with the pink Himalayan salt, and I'm going to allow those to cook. It's really not cooking, just boiling a little bit until they get soft. From time to time, I'll add a little bit more extra Himalayan salt in there. In the meantime, I want to get my ground turkey started to cook. And I'm going to cut up my I thought I took my utensils out, but I didn't, y'all. I didn't. This drawer has a mind of its own. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and cook up my ground turkey. And I'm going to go ahead and get that started to cook while I go ahead and cut up my peppers and my onion. So I don't even think I cut a half an onion. That's about as much onion I cut. I guess it's for taste. You do what works for you, as well as seasoning. I really don't measure out my seasonings very often. I just do whatever feels natural to me when I'm in the kitchen. I really cook kind of like in my emotions. I cook on how I feel. I was never raised with a mother who really told us like measurements. She just cooks, and it always tasted good, so we never questioned it. And so that's kind of how I cook. I don't like cutting boards, if you're wondering why I'm using a good plate. Don't say anything, my husband hates that I cut on the actual plates. But I do. And so basically I'm just gonna dice these onions up as fine as I can while my turkey is getting started sizzling a little bit. Throw those in there. And I've already set my oven to 350, so once my peppers are done, my oven will already be on and ready. And mind you, you know, you guys, you don't have to put your peppers in the oven for an extremely long time. You've already pretty much cooked them and softened them when they're boiling in there. So basically, the most part that you're doing in the oven is just making sure that the food and everything takes on the flavor of the peppers and everything that you're putting in with your turkey. So I just like to find easier ways to cook things. I'm not a red meat eater. I don't eat pork, and so I'm almost to the point where I'm tired of turkey and chicken, so and salmon, because that's pretty much where I'm at right now. So you gotta be really trying hard all the time to find great recipes that are low carb as much as I possibly can, that are good and have tons of flavor. So I'm gonna put this onion in there. And like I said, you guys, you put the onion in there the way you choose to, the flavor you want. I don't like to tell people like how to cook. I just, you know, like to share different things that I'm doing, meals that I do. And I put my onion in there. I'm going to slow this down a little bit. Bring it down a little. And to be honest with you guys, from just the one pack that I've used, I think I got enough onion. But since I cut that, I don't want to disregard it. So I'm going to use that. Wash my plate off. I'm going to dice up some of the tops of the peppers that I had left. Just wanted to have good flavor. And that's the most important part. We put a little bit of my onion powder in here. Even though I put the onion in there. Okay. I'm gonna put a little bit of garlic salt with the parsley leaves in it. Put that in there. I'm gonna also put a little bit of slap your mama in here. And I'm gonna put a little bit of my pepper. Sorry, y'all gotta see my back so much, but I'm hoping, you know, once it's done, you'll see me plate it, get everything together. Some people, once they get theirs done, their meat done, and they prep peppers together and their rice and everything in there together. You know, some people I've seen put tomato sauce on top of theirs. I do not do that. One, because I just had my gallbladder out a little over a year ago, and tomato sauce tends to be a trigger for me. So I have to be very careful with that. It gives me indigestion. So I have to stay away from that. That's much as I possibly can. Now, like I said, you guys, I am not a cook. I just love to cook certain things, and when I find my thing, I just try to perfect it and make it good for my family. But I try to find meals that are really healthy as healthy can get. I think we're on the verge of maybe becoming pescatarian, because I'm really tired of meat, and I think my husband is too. So, but I have to do some more research to make sure that I'm getting all the nutrients that I need to get for my family and going into new eating habits. So, I'll put some of this pepper in here. So basically what I'm doing is ground beef tends to chunk up. Ground turkey, I apologize, tends to chunk up a lot. So you kind of got to press it to break it down into crumbles. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Just trying to make sure that pepper's cooked in here as well. Everything is a process. I hope you guys are starting this new year out after the last new year in a healthier way, especially after this whole COVID thing. We realize how important our immune systems are. You have to treat your body as a temple. So, you know, that includes nutrients that we put into systems as well. When you get to being over 40, your body reacts to everything. So you definitely have to treat your body in a better way. I can reuse these tops for something else, so I'm going to set them aside, as well as the onion. I'll use that for something else, so I'm not going to disregard that just as of yet. So I'm going to put a little bit more of my seasonings in. On my peppers. They still look like they need a little bit more love in that boiling water. You guys, you want to make sure that your turkey is done. A lot of people don't like to cook turkey because they can't tell if it's done, and you have to season it. Really have to season it because it really does not hold flavor well. So it's very important for you to season it. It is not like ground beef. So I'm trying to show you. That's what it looks like as of now. bit longer. And in the meantime, I'm probably going to open up my diced tomatoes. And I'm going to add my rice. And basically, you're going to add these to it. I also want to get a spoon. I'm going to use this spoon for my Worcestershire sauce, and I'm going to put that in there to give it some extra flavor. These things that they have on here, I get it, but I mean, really? Sometimes, I mean, really. So, I think they got the nerve to have another seal on it. That's so cute. I appreciate that though, making sure my food stay fresh. And then I know ain't nobody tampering with it. Okay. We'll screw that back on there. I'm gonna take my I'm only gonna use one. Maybe I'll use two. Okay. I'm gonna stir that up. I absolutely love the way that smells when you add it to stuff. And sometimes if you are using ground turkey instead of beef, I use Worcestershire sauce. So say if I'm doing Salisbury steak or if I'm doing burgers, I will use Worcestershire sauce in there to give it the flavor. It almost gives it a beefy flavor. So if you have people that are always trying to figure out like it doesn't taste the same, you can add different things to your foods to give them the flavor of things. It's not perfect, but it's my method and it works. I'm gonna turn that off. Okay. These are diced tomatoes, so I'm gonna pour that in there. I'm gonna stir that up. Pretty that is. Okay. And the choice is up to you guys. So normally what I've done is I will measure out my rice and I will cook it half the way, and then I will add it to this and I will let it cook for the rest of the way. It is completely up to you. Some people add the rice to this, your mix, and they allow it to slow cook. It just depends on what you choose to do. So I'm going to go ahead and measure out my rice. I'm going to go ahead and put it in another pie, and I'm gonna cook it halfway, and then I'm gonna add it to there, and then I will come back to you guys with what that part is. And I'm also gonna take my peppers out so we can be ready to start the next part. Okay, you guys, so I got my rice done and it's in here. I want to give you guys a good tip for cooking rice. If you want your rice to have flavor without adding salt to it or butter to it, this is something that I started doing, and I love the flavor that it gives the rice. So what I started doing is I started adding whatever your water ratio is for your rice, for however much you're cooking. Instead, I put chicken broth. So I only did 2 servings of rice, which requires for me to do a cup of water. So I did a cup of chicken broth and a half a cup of water. So that basically the chicken broth gives the rice flavor, so you don't have to season it. I'm trying to implement no salt as much as I possibly can in meals, or adding extra fats in it. If you want to, you can use vegan butter, which I also use Earth Balance vegan butter as well sometimes. But this particular time, what I normally do when I do cook rice is I just use the chicken broth instead of using the water or adding salt. So it always tends to give it flavor. Say for instance, you're cooking something where you're doing beef, you can use beef broth. It will give your rice flavor. Some people use I think it's called the cubes, chicken cubes, boudin cubes. I may be saying that incorrectly, but it's like these cubes that you can throw in there. They have like chicken flavor or broth or beef broth flavor, whichever you choose. You can use those as well, but I like to use that to do my rice. So anyway, my rice is done. So I'm gonna take my rice and I'm going to add that to my mix. And I'm going to stir that in with that ground turkey and those tomatoes and those peppers and those onions, you guys. And then I'm going to add more Worcestershire sauce in this dish. And I'm gonna let this slow cook for just a little bit. Meanwhile, my peppers have been taken out the boiling water. Let me bring that pull that to the front. And I'm gonna let you guys see what it looks like before. Meanwhile, I just took my peppers out of the boiling water. And basically, I'm just gonna add some salt into the inside. And like I said, this is pink Himalayan salt. You guys do your research. I also sprayed this dish before I put the peppers in there, so that it doesn't stick. And I'm gonna add a little bit of this to that. And I'm gonna add also a little bit more of the Slap Your Mama seasoning. I'm going to try to break down the measurements for this recipe for you guys on the bottom, so that it'll be in the description, so you guys can have a general idea of about how much I use of each thing and my cooking time as well. And the way this smells, it absolutely smells amazing. It smells amazing. So I would say that I've probably used 4 tablespoons of the Worcestershire sauce in there. Because I am a definite cooking and taste type of person before I stuff. Okay, so now I see that it needs a little bit more, and that's what I'm going to give it. Just a little bit more flavor. Sometimes I add paprika to it, but I'm not going to this time. Okay, so for my peppers, normally what I do is I layer my cheese. Okay, if I have vegan cheese, I would use vegan cheese, but I don't have any. So I'm gonna start with the mozzarella shred. I'm gonna do that first. At the bottom of my pepper. I got those coated pretty well. with the mozzarella. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add the seasoning from the meat from here and rice. My family likes theirs cheesy. Okay. I'm gonna add a little bit more cheese in there. I am going to use 1/4 cup. I'm gonna turn this on. And I'm gonna fill it. And I'm going to add it to there. Then I'll press. Then I'll go in with mozzarella again. Then I'll do the next one. Then I will press. Okay. And lastly, what I do is add cheese to the top, but I normally wait. I allow it to cook and get the flavor, and then the last few minutes, I will put the shredded cheese, the 4 cheese, the Mexican style one, on the top as my topper. And so normally I cut them in half for a half serving. So they won't eat, well, sometimes I will eat an entire one, sometimes I won't. As of right now, I've gone to the gym, I've worked out, but I have not actually had a meal. So most of the time I stay in a fasting state for a long time. This is normally not as long as I would normally eat by 2 or 3. But today I've gone past 5 because I wanted to do this video for you guys. But that's quite all right. I'm gonna go ahead and stuff the rest of these and let you guys see. And so I'm going to press these down just like I did the others. And I'm gonna add the mozzarella to there again. Okay. And your mozzarella cheese is just not as fattening as regular cheese. So that is the reason why I put that in the middle. No, I want it to be gooey, but it's just less fattening. So I'll use the mozzarella there. And for my second, I will put that. Sorry for the music in the background. My husband loves that song. And so we tend to hear it a lot. Okay. And so the last thing I'll do, like I said, is add the last bit of cheese in there. But I will allow this to cook. Normally I will put this in the oven, and I'll show you guys what this looks like before I put it in there. So normally I will put this in the oven. I'll cook it for maybe about 15 to 20 minutes. And then at about 15 to 20 minutes, then I will come back in there. I will add any extra rice and meat if I need to. But at this point, I don't think I'm going to add any more. I normally will put a little bit of Slap Your Mama seasoning on the top of there. And then I will put that last cheese so that it's oozing over the top. And then once I plate it and get it for you guys, I will let you guys see what it looks like at the end. I hope you guys enjoyed this particular meal. It doesn't actually take as long as you probably would think. and I'll be doing some more. So I would love to hear what you guys think. So if you do us a favor, like, share, and subscribe, and leave your comments to let us know if you have any questions also. You guys have a great one. Thank you. Okay, you guys, I'm getting ready to take these out the oven. I did top them with the last little bit of cheese. And, you know, I did tell you guys, that's what it looks like with the cheese on the top. I did tell you guys that my family only eats half of one. So I'm going to show you what it looks like once it's plated, so that you guys have an idea of what I do. I can pick this up with my hands. It's not that big of a deal. I just washed my hands, just so you guys know. Okay. I'm gonna put that in the plate. My daughter, she wants to season hers the way she wants to, so I'm gonna let her do hers, but I'm gonna do my husband's. So basically, y'all can see how soft that is. Okay. Okay. So literally, I cut the pepper in half. Okay. And you can kind of see the layers of mozzarella there. They've already melted down in there. And what I'm going to do is take the Mexican style cheese. I'll go over here so you guys can see me better. I'm gonna center it in the plate. I'm gonna put that on there. I'm gonna put a little bit of slap your mom on there. My husband likes his spicy. Just a little bit more. Okay. And then I'm gonna put some sour cream on the top. Then I'm gonna take some cilantro. I'm gonna put that on the top of there. Put a little bit more of the seasoning on there for him. And lastly, if I have some, I normally use a little bit of this Parmesan for him. And you guys, this is the plating for it. That's pretty much it. This is what I would consider my serving. And sometimes I'll add a small Caesar salad with it if I really feel like I need to eat more, which I probably will do, because like I said, this will be my only meal for the day, because if it's already after 5 o'clock, so this will be it. So I will put this half a pepper with a small salad, and that will be my meal for the day. So you guys, I hope you guys really liked what I did. And if you have any questions, please hit us up and let us know. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a good one.